Into the match review, Tottenham 2, Manchester City 2 last night, which was, really strange night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Such contrasting halves. And we've seen that before, but I think this was crazy how contrasting both half was, because I was obviously there yesterday, and in the first half you could hear a pin drop in that stadium for 45 minutes. No songs, no nothing, or you couldn't even hear Man City songs. It was just a dead out first half, and the team played as the fans basically. It was the feeling of on the pitch seemed like it was the feeling off the pitch. There was just nothing in that Spurs performance. It was one of our worst performances of the season. That's how bad it was. So passive. No aggression, mistake riddled. It was just awful. And I don't even think Man City were great either. Man City kind of capitalised off how bad Spurs were, and they got the 2 goals we kind of gave them. And it all completely changed in the second half. The fans perked up, the team perked up, and I think the fans kind of perked up off the back of what the team was showing in that second half. But in that first half, it's just you had Radu Dragushin. First start since the ACL, and he could really tell, couldn't you, in those first 45 minutes, he just kept giving the ball away. The goals that he was a few of the goals were down to him, and it was just I was sitting there watching it, and I was just this literally cannot get worse. This literally cannot get worse. What are we doing here?
It was horrendous, wasn't it, for 45 minutes? It was basically as bad as we had seen it in some of the horrific home performances against the likes of Chelsea, or the away game against Arsenal. It was really that bad for large parts of, for most of that first half. I think we just came out with a real lack of intensity. A lot of people described it as walking football. A lot of the time in that first half, it was basically Tottenham just sitting back, not being proactive, just watching City bop it around and play beautiful football. I have to say, I thought Rodri was absolutely running the game in that first half, and he was given all the time and space in the world to run it. And I felt like we had this 5 at the back, and we were pinned back the whole time, and we had only had those 2 centre mids, and they were just outnumbering us and just finding the free man every time, and we were just allowing Rodri we were just standing there and admiring Rodri run the game.
But this is the thing, right? We were talking about in the match preview, and I said to you, if you're going to get anything out of this game, you need to put Rodri under pressure, because this Rodri is not the Rodri that we've seen over the last couple of years. He's a Rodri recovering from injury, not at full pelt. He's definitely got his flaws to him, and he's not playing at that same level. And like you said, we just did not do that. And that was a big... that hampered us massively. Not to mention the mistakes that we just kept making time and time again. That, what was Dragushin doing for that second goal? I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I think both goals, first of all, Basuma for the first goal, just dawdling on the ball, giving it away. And then we give it to Cherki, but Cherki runs about 20 yards. No one even thinking about closing him down. And Dragushin just staring there admiring him shooting. And Cherki wasn't even running. He was just jogging towards the penalty area. Dragushin's what are you going to do? And he doesn't even stick a foot out. He just allows him to shoot. And also have to say, Vicario, it wasn't the best shot in the world. I'm not saying it was a bad finish, but it didn't have that much pace on it. And Vicario seemed quite slow to get down, I felt. And so all round, I thought it was just a bit of a shit show, that goal. You saw Frank's frustration, throwing his bottle of water down with that goal. And I can understand it.
Have a Spurs logo on this time?
I think so. But I can understand it, because from every step, the build-up, we screwed up. Basuma screwed up. Dragushin, I think what led to Dragushin kind of allowing the shot was him being very uncomfortable in that position. You can see he was very hesitant. He wasn't sure whether to go to him and block the shot, or make sure or cover him cutting inside on his left foot, and rather him allowing the shot on the right. He was kind of just caught in 3 minds about what to do, and he ended up doing nothing and just staring at him. And obviously he goes and gets the shot and gets the goal, and that kind of set that tone for the first half. And I've seen a few people say that City weren't that dominant. They just had 2 chances and 2 goals. But I think that is being quite generous to Tottenham. I think, don't get me wrong, I think City were definitely in first gear in that first half. But even them in first gear was so much better than us. Like Haaland had a 1-on-1, which I think 8 times out of 10 he finishes that. You know, it was a simple lob over Vicario and he just got it a bit wrong. He should have finished that. Vicario had to make an unbelievable save by Cherki, by the way, which Cherki was running the show. Him and Rodri, I felt, running the show in that first half. And Cherki had this unbelievable moment where he breezes past Romero, cuts inside Dragushin's sliding challenge, and then he did a beautiful finish heading for the far corner, but fingertip from Vicario. It was an unbelievable save.
They gave a goal kick for that.
I couldn't believe they gave a goal kick because it was an unbelievable save from Vicario. You saw on the replay, fingertips, and that could have been a goal. And then obviously we did end up succumbing right at the end of the half with some more awful play. Dragushin, left-footed, long ball, and obviously they get the second goal. But I think the most frustrating thing, apart from our passivity out of the ball, was also our hesitancy on the ball. How many times it was really summed up. There was this move where we break on them quickly for once in the half. We actually have an opportunity to attack them. I think Xavi plays a quick ball into Moani. He's 1-on-1 with their defender. Instead of just cutting inside and shooting, he hesitates. He then lays it back to Xavi. He then, on the edge of the area, has a chance to shoot. He hesitates. He then cuts back, and then we end up losing the ball because everyone's too scared to actually have a dig. And that was kind of emblematic of that first half. It was kind of like there was no kind of thought of we need to get out them, we need to start creating chances, we need to put them under pressure, we need to assert ourselves on the game. It was all so risk averse. It was like, just keep the ball. Don't put any risk to the game. Don't try things. Only if you've got a chance on the goal line do you shoot. Like, there's like no appetite for Tottenham to create anything, and that was so frustrating against a City team who are there to be got at. Like, they have not been at their best this season. Like, everyone knows if you get at this Man City team, they will open up for you and you can create chances. And that first half, as much as it was frustrating watch us getting dominated, which I think was mainly due to the setup, I think the back five didn't work at all in that first half, and that double pivot was just getting completely outnumbered, and that led to City having lots and lots of possession and Tottenham being very passive. But I think the main thing to be frustrated about with that first half was on the ball, just no ambition whatsoever. The only one who did was Xavi, and even he was quite careless with the ball, but at least he, earned a couple of free kicks, which we had. He had another shot which was blocked on the edge of the box. He was the only one trying to make something happen, but even that wasn't quite enough for that first half. So I think when people look at it again, the XG was at 0.17, and that was generous, I felt, because what chances did we actually have in that first half?
It was free kicks. That was
I don't know how it was that high, to be honest. So I think it was as bad as what we would have seen in that first half. And I think 2-0. A lot of people said did 2-0 flat at City. I don't think it did. I thought 2-0 was fair.
Look, they even before they scored, Semenyo broke the lines and got in behind us and could have made it 1-0 in the opening 5 minutes. I thought Romero's defending as well for that goal, for the second, for the big save from Vicario.
Yeah.
Oh my days, man! Romero just got eaten alive by Cherki, didn't he? He didn't look right.
Yeah, he didn't look right from minute one. I felt he was having a poor game.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because he was ill. Who knows? But he was off it. You could tell he was completely off it.
He was, but you still expected him to come out second half and put in like a much better performance and right those wrongs. And Romero in a big game, he usually turns up. Usually turns up, and he's usually really aggressive. And it was just anything but that from Romero. So there was so many poor performances in that first half. You look at Romero, you look at Dragushin, you look at Bissouma, all of them. I think Archie Gray was struggling a bit in that first half as well. I mean, there was just nothing to go on. And you get to half time, massive boos at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and you're thinking, what are we going to sit through in the second half? I think majority of Spurs fans didn't even want to come out for the second half. The bars and everything and outside was absolutely rammed.
They showed a clip about on 47 minutes. Just the place was still so empty.
Yeah, I walked up to my seat. I was making my way through the concourse, and I was like 2 minutes into the second half, and it was rammed, like literally rammed, like it was pre-match or something. It was crazy.
Didn't see Big Yan?
No, so I completely forgot that he was going to come out, and I went down and I saw he was on TV. I was like, I really wanted to see that, but I was so pissed off at that point, I just didn't care, to be honest. But anyway, I walk up to my seat, And the guy next to me goes, yeah, so Romero's been taken off for Pape. And I'm just like, can this day get any worse? Like, literally, we've got one recognised centre-back on the pitch. We're 2-0 down to Man City. They could have scored 3 or 4 in that first half. It's just like, what are we about to witness in this second half? It could have been anything. I was like anticipating a cricket score. Little did I recognise, you know, in the last couple of games, we've been shocking in the first half, but actually turned it up a little bit in the second half. But I think this was like... I did not see that second half performance coming. I really didn't. Like, anything that we did wrong in the first half, we put right in the second half in terms of from a performance level. We were aggressive. We went after them. We were hitting them on the transition. We created so many chances. We could have won that game in the second half with the amount of chances that we did create.
Absolutely. And we were fantastic in the second half. I think the main thing is, I think the stat that tells the story was first half we won 40% of our duels, and second half we won nearly 60%. So I think that was the difference, really. We just upped the intensity, we got in their faces, and exactly what we said before the game happened. Get stuck into Rodri, and he will struggle, and he should have been sent off. He should have been sent off. He started to really struggle. What was the other thing we said? Get Solanke on Kuzanov, and he will struggle. And that's exactly what happened. Kuzanov got bullied for that first goal. Solanke just shoved him aside. And you have to say, brilliant from Solanke, by the way, to not only run behind, then shove Kuzanov, and then take that touch inside. And was it a foul for you?
What, the Mark Gehi one?
Yeah, for the goal.
So he kicks his leg, and it kind of comes off Gehi and goes in. So I think it is a foul, you know?
Yeah.
I don't understand how it wasn't pulled back, but I'm not complaining.
I'm not complaining. I think VAR is right not to get involved, because I think it's a very tight decision. It's kind of half, because VAR said that they gave the goal, because obviously the on-field decision was goal, and Solanke actually does touch the ball. That's what they say.
I've watched it so many times and I just can't see that touch.
I think there is a touch. It's very minuscule, but there is a touch from... The thing is, there's a touch from Solanke on the ball, then his foot goes through Gehi, and I don't know what's the last touch. For me, from the angle, it looks like Guehi's is the last touch.
But it feels like he goes through the man to get to the ball.
Correct.
And that should be a foul.
VAR arguing he goes a bit round rather than through. But look, for me...
If that's against us, I'm fuming.
Yeah, 100%. I think we got lucky. I think it should have been a foul. I think if the referee gives it on the field, then it's a foul, and when it's not getting overturned, and I think it's right. That's the right decision. I think, given that the goal was given, I think going back and disallowing it because of a VAR decision, I think would have been harsh as well, because I think it's a very kind of half 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other. I think it's a very tight call, very forensic as well. I don't think you want VAR getting involved in that, because I think those are the kind of incidences where they're just so tight. You don't want, it's not clear and obvious, is it? So I think it's completely right VAR didn't get involved. But I also think if you're a City fan, you can definitely have the right to feel hard done by, because I do think it's a foul. Yeah. And I think we get a bit lucky with that. But I think also you earn your own luck, and Solanke did brilliantly to get in that position. Also Xavi with a brilliant ball in behind. One of our, what was that, our second through ball of the season maybe?
Fifth or something.
Fifth. Brilliant ball from him. And after that moment, it's like Xavi came alive. He's like, okay, I can run this game now. And we just kept finding Solanke, going direct to Solanke. He was holding the ball up.
Such great feet, wasn't it, in the box?
Yeah, the cut inside.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And I think from that moment, you saw Gallagher, Sarr as well, just come alive. Gray started to feel, you can see the confidence flowing through the team. And,
a big moment, what the game hinged on, in my opinion, was that sub when we took off Bissouma, because I thought we started to control the midfield a lot more when Bissouma went off.
Yeah, I agree. Bissouma was having a shocker, to be honest. It was one of his bad games, which we know he's capable of, and it was definitely that yesterday.
There was some decent moments in there from Bissouma. It wasn't all bad, but I think, it was nowhere near the levels of what he's been showing in previous weeks. But I was so happy what I saw from Gallagher, so happy what I saw from Xavi and Dom Solanke. Those three players really stood out, didn't they?
Yeah.
And Conor Gallagher, you saw in the game yesterday, and we've been waiting in these last two games for him to show us something. Well, he finally showed us something. And look, the cross for the goal, that Solanke's goal, man, that second goal was just, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I literally could not believe it, because it was right in front of me. Obviously, I was sitting in the south stand yesterday, right in front of me. I was like, did I just see right? Did he just do a scorpion kick?
A lot of people were saying who were there saying that they thought it was an own goal, or they thought it couldn't be possible what they just saw, and they had to see it again to see, oh wow, we actually did just happen.
Yeah, because when I was celebrating, I was going, oh, he's just scored some sort of, I don't know what it was, some scorpion kick or something. And I see the replay, and I'm like, wow, it was literally what I thought it was, and it was a scorpion kick that looped over Donnarumma, and that cross from Conor Gallagher. I mean, he puts it into a dangerous area, but it was so far behind Solanke, wasn't it? That's the only thing he could have done to put it in the back of the net.
Absolutely, but the great thing about Gallagher was how he won the ball and then went forward and put the cross in. And that kind of just was what that second half was about, just that endeavour, winning those second balls, winning those duels, and not coming out second best. And I think the formation was a big part of that, because we were just so far off them. We just couldn't get near them in that first half. Even though they were playing at one pace, we couldn't get near them. And second half, we got Sarr on, we got Gallagher closer to them, and all of a sudden, we got in their faces. We were making a nuisance of ourselves, and they just couldn't get going at all in that second half. I thought Man City overall were actually pretty poor. Like, I know they were the better team in the first half, but wasn't that impressed with them even in the first half. Like, any team worth their salt probably should have been out of sight in that first half, and albeit they did get their second goal with 2-0, like, they didn't do enough to put the game really to bed. And you always had a feeling, like, and Costa was next to me, saying, watching this game, everyone was resigned and dead about it. He was saying, look, we get a goal, we're back in this, because this City team are nothing special. He was saying it consistently, and he was absolutely spot on, and we got that goal, and the whole place got a lift, and all of a sudden we were flying. We got that equaliser, which is where do you reckon that ranks in terms of Tottenham Premier League goals in history?
Well, right near the top, man. It really is right near the top.
There, Danny Rose's, Gareth Bale against
I think it's way better than Danny Rose's. Danny Rose's was a massive goalkeeping error, let's be honest. I think this was pure quality. It really was.
To do it against Donnarumma as well.
Mate, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like I said, I think I put that right up there. Right up there. You'll see that goal for years to come.
Yeah, it's an absolute classic, isn't it? And I think as well...
Look, didn't Giroud win the Puskas for the same thing?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, you got to get Dom Solanke in the. He's got to be up for the Puskas.
That Puskas is just our that's our thing. That's our award. We got a few Puskas worthy winners.
Richarlison as well.
Van der Ven running from his own box. We've got a few. We can just have a Tottenham goal of the year for UEFA. I don't think you need a Puskas, but what was I going to say? So. Also, we were playing a lot riskier game in that second half, because we were pressing them.
We had to, didn't we?
I understand that, but we were leaving Dragushin one-on-one with Haaland quite a few times, and they actually dealt with him. And I actually feel like sometimes in those situations when you've got like someone like Haaland up front, I feel like sometimes you're actually better off just going man to man than like having like a back three, because I feel like sometimes when you have a back three, someone like Haaland can take advantage of the confusion it takes of who's marking him. So when you've got three defenders there, and he's like moving in between you, all of a sudden that creates confusion. Who's picking him up? Are you picking him up? Am I picking him up? And then he can take advantage of that. That's what happened with that moment where he runs in behind. He gets behind Romero and he beats Dragushin, because I think there was a bit of confusion there and he took advantage of it. I think when you've got just like one defender there and he knows I'm sticking to you, that could almost be like, it simplifies the defender's mind. Is like, okay, this is my guy. I'm going to stick to him. If the ball comes near him, I'm getting in him. I'm getting in his face. I'm going to be aggressive up against him, and that it removes all the confusion. And that's kind of what happened, I thought, at the Etihad early in the season. Like, we just had Van der Ven sticking on him, and that just avoided any doubt. And I felt like in the back three, Haaland was taking advantage of that confusion, and it kind of got fixed in the second half. But it was a risky strategy because, Dragushin was one-on-one with Haaland quite a few times, but he dealt with him. And Palhinha as well was filled in at centre-back fantastically. Didn't have to kind of do too many like headers and stuff, and just whenever it was on the ground, there's only one winner, and that's João Palhinha. I'm starting to think maybe, should this be his full-time position? Because I feel like on the ball, he is so much more comfortable at centre-back. I really do. And the big question is, does he have, defensively, what do you lose from him being at centre-back? Is he good enough in the air? Is he good enough on the ground? All that kind of stuff. And at the moment, he's proven to be, yes, he is good enough.
I think he's thriving in every metric at this right centre-back role. I love it. I love seeing him there. Every time he's played at centre-back for us, he's had a very, very good performance.
Yeah.
And I think he offers so much more to us at centre-back than he does in central midfield, because it allows us to put in a better player on the ball in central midfield. You have him at the back, and like you've mentioned so many times, like as a defender, he's actually pretty good on the ball. And you look at his progressive passing metrics and stats every time he's at centre-back, it's really good. It's really good. So I agree with you. He needs to persist at centre-back. And I think if we keep him as a centre-back, I think, there's values of keeping him past this season as well. He's got that leadership quality on the pitch as well. And he just has so much desire every time. And you could see, he just lifts the players around him, in my opinion. And I think he is so good for us at centre-back.
I think there's just an easy fix. So once, obviously, Romero and Van de Ven come in, I just think you kind of... I don't know how tactically you get around this, but I think you've got to have Palhinha basically... When we're on the ball, you kind of have him as a centre-back. And then off the ball, you get him in midfield when he's obviously very good off the ball. And the thing is, do you want to lose that amount of kind of ground he can cover and that kind of intensity he brings off the ball with his ability in midfield to just get stuck into tackles and win the ball back? But on the ball is the big problem, isn't it? When we're in build-up and we're looking to find Palhinha in between the lines, and he can't turn and he can't pass forward because he's under pressure and he struggles to find his man or play a good pass. But all of a sudden, as soon as he steps back from out of that box and he's in the centre-back role, all of a sudden he's a lot more comfortable. He's got time. He's not as pressured. He can play those passes when he's got the time and space. So maybe even when Romero and Van de Ven are back, and he's obviously not going to be needed at centre-back, if he's in the team, you have to find some sort of tactical way so when we're on the ball, he kind of drops into the back line. But when we're off the ball, he's back in midfield. I think that's what you got to do. But
and it's all well and good, for Palhinha to be in central midfield for a team like Fulham and what their ambitions are, and for a team that are kind of, I know we are lower down in the table, but that's not what our ambitions are to be. But when you're playing for Tottenham and you're asked to be on the ball and you're asked to, attack the opposition, I don't think he can play consistently in midfield for us. He has to be at centre-back, and I think he's been better at centre-back than midfield for us. So, massive big up to João Palhinha, because I think he's been fantastic these last few games for us. He really has. But for me, yesterday was all about Xavi Simons. It really was. I mean, he was everywhere. First half and second half. Even when we were poor in the first half, he was the one that was keeping up those standards. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are, but he must have won so many duels yesterday. He is just a jewel.
He won 9 out of 11 or
he's
something.
like a duel machine, Xavi Simons, and that's not what you thought he would be coming to the club. And I think he's
10 out of 16.
Wow, that's monstrous numbers. That really is.
That's like Palhinha numbers.
That's mad. That really is mad. That's actually, I didn't think it was that strong, but. He is just so aggressive off the ball, and I love to see it. And he is just growing and growing and growing. He's been our best player for the last 3 or 4 games. And not only does he get those duels, but he is literally the hub of our whole team. Remember how we used to comment on Eriksen, saying the hub of the team, the hub of the team? That's what he is becoming for us. It really is.
He's the only player as well, just consistently being positive, looking forward, looking to... what I love about Xavi is his first thought when he gets the ball is, how can I play this forward? How can I create an opportunity? What's the best thing I can do right now? Is it a dribble? Is it a through ball? Is it just a pass, progressive pass in between the lines? That's always his first thought. He's such a positive player. He never wants to play it safe. And I know it can be frustrating sometimes. He can be a bit careless on the ball. He can give the ball away. And sometimes his rate of pass is wrong and stuff like that. But you know what? He bloody tries things all the time. He's always trying to make something happen. And that is what I love about him. And when it clicks like it did in the second half, he's almost unstoppable. He can dribble past you. He can find those passes if you give him time. You stand off him, he'll find the passing behind to Solanke. You get near him, he'll get past you, and either he'll bring you down or he'll open up the space for someone else. He created a chance for Odebear. He obviously created that chance for Solanke with the goal. He was winning free kicks left, right, and centre.
And he can take a shot from distance as well. He forced Donnarumma into a great save.
Absolutely, and that was also the time was very close. He completed 4 of his 6 dribbles as well. So he was absolutely dynamite. How many fouls did he win? He must have won was fouled 4 times. And 2 of them were free kicks in the first half, which were in decent shooting positions. He had 5 shots on the day as well. He was an absolute menace. They couldn't live with him in that second half. And I think that was Xavi at his very best. I think the main thing is he just needs more players around him on his wavelength, I feel. I feel sometimes he got a picture in his mind and the players around him aren't on the same wavelength, and they can't quite read what he's about to do, and it leads to either moves breaking down or whatever. But I think, you know, if you had him next to like a Maddison or whatever, the football they could play together would be.
I'll tell you what though, like,
so exciting.
I think, you know, Xavi, his kind of good form, or his kind of announcement in a Spurs shirt where we're saying, you know, he has finally arrived, is coincided with Dom Solanke being back in the team.
Yeah.
And I think that has a big part to play in it. The way that Dom Solanke can back into defenders, the way he can hold up the ball so well, Xavi playing off him, I think it's just, you know, a match made in heaven, really. And I think yesterday you really saw it flourish even more. And I think game by game, the kind of synergy between the two just keeps growing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's definitely helped 100%, because Solanke, you just see the difference when he's on the pitch compared to our other strikers in that position. His hold-up play is... We've gone from players with basically below average hold-up play to elite hold-up play. And that is the difference between Solanke and Richarlison and even Moani. I think Richarlison's probably like pretty poor. Moani's probably just a bit below average. And then you've got Solanke, who's just phenomenal. Like, he is... I think he's one of the best in the league when it comes to that. I can't think of too many strikers who have his hold-up play in their locker like he does. And the way he bullied Kusanov on the day was something fantastic. And the thing is, Xavi knows as soon as Solanke's on the ball, he can get close to him, because he knows he's going to hold it and he just needs to be an option. And that means he can either lay it off to him, or Solanke can turn himself or create space somewhere else. I think, yeah, Solanke's definitely helped Xavi. I think the formation was helping him before yesterday, because I think he was getting closer to the striker and another number 10. I think yesterday in the second half, we kind of played again a 4-2-2-2, like Xavi on the left, Pape Sarr on the right with Basuma and Gallagher in the middle. It then changed to Odebear on the right, Tell came on the left, and then Sarr was in the middle with Gallagher, and then kind of Solanke with Xavi was kind of like floating around, wasn't he, at that point? So I think either way, he was played in the right position. He was played in a position which was, you know, he was allowed to drift centrally. He had a doggy, obviously, on Ortel out on his left, and I definitely think that helped him. I think as well, just the fact we were winning more duels and very quickly getting it into the forward players helped him find those little pockets of space, and I think he thrived in that, absolutely.
Yeah, he really did. So we mentioned like Gallagher, Xavi Simons, Solanke. I just loved watching them play, and it's just like, when you see a second half performance like that, for me, it just left me more frustrated, because it's just like, why can't we just play like that from the off? How many times have we spoken about this where we've put in such abject first half displays, then we come out fighting in the second half and we show we actually can attack and we actually do have quality on the pitch? It's
such an odd, like, when you look at our last, in the Premier League anyway, you look at our last, say, 6-7 games.
Yeah.
Game state has played such a large role in each of the performances, I would say. So you look at, like, say, the Liverpool game. You know, we obviously get a man sent off, we're losing, and then we go for it, we get back in the game and nearly claim something. You look at the Brentford game, state never changed, so we kind of never changed, did we? It was kind of like that game, nothing happened because there was no instigating incident for something to change. If you look at the Sunderland game, we come out well, 20 minutes, get the goal, drop back, and the game state changes. We drop back and we allow Sunderland back in the game. Bournemouth come out well, score the goal, then we sit back. Bournemouth then take a 2-1 lead because we've dropped back. The game state then has changed. We then go forward and attack because we're losing, get back in the game. The game state then changes again, and then we drop back again, and then we lose the game. Like Aston Villa come out absolutely awfully, 2-0 down at half time. We then, because we're 2-0 down, nothing to lose, we go for it, get one back and lose. West Ham come out awfully, go 1-0 down, come out in the second half, get the equaliser because we're going for it, and then once it went 1-1, it felt like that it stopped again, and we didn't really go for the winner, and West Ham go and win the game. Obviously, take out the Champions League games because I think it's quite different. Burnley come out decently, get the goal, then drop back again, and then we go 2-1 down, and then once we're chasing the game, we go for it again. And again this game, Abs come out awfully, go 2-0 down, then we're chasing the game, we go all out. So we're always very reactive to the game state, I feel, in all these games. And we never really, I don't know what it is, we never assert ourselves on the game. It seems as though game state really changes how we approach it. And I guess in theory that kind of makes sense, because you should always be reactive to, not reactive, but game state should obviously make a difference to how you play in a certain sense. That's obviously the big problem we have with Wanch, isn't it? Didn't matter what game state was, we kind of approached the game in the same way. That was obviously one of the big complaints. Like if we were 3-0 up, we'd play the same way than we would if we were 2-0 down, right? And I feel like with Frank, it seems as though like we're so reactive to the game state though. Like we only kind of change once the game has changed.
But I mean, the game state changed after 10 minutes of the game yesterday, and we didn't change till the second half. So why can't we adjust the way we play in halves as well, particularly in the first half, because the whole of the first 45 minutes was dross. So when you're talking about game state, like the game state changed in the first half.
Yeah.
And we still didn't adapt to that. It took us to front.
Does he need to change formation?
Well, you can still change formation. I guess, you know.
The thing is, would he have changed formation if Romero wasn't ill? That's the big question.
Probably not.
And then, so did he kind of stumble into it, or was it a great tactical plan? Who knows? But who knows? But I think...
I don't think he would have changed it. He might have changed it halfway through the second half or something.
A common theme here is if we do start well, we get the goal and then drop back. That happens every time. We never build on a lead. Or if we don't start well, we always basically wait till we're losing 2-0 to start doing something. So either way, like that has to be on the manager, doesn't it? Because both things is like it's hard to put your finger on, but it seems as though there has to be something that the manager is not telling. He's obviously not telling them to play badly, of course, but in terms of the mentality of this team, like if it happens so often that once we get the lead, we drop.
But it
happens
just like,
so often.
Yeah, I get that, and I do agree to a certain extent. But then I'm looking at the players and how they're playing. It's just like the intensity levels are just so low, and surely Frank isn't telling them to play with such low intensity from the start of games. Like I can't believe that.
He might not be telling them to play with low intensity, but is he telling them, let's say in the first half, when I'm seeing this back five basically stay in their back five, not being proactive to look to win the ball, and then Man City are popping it around because they've got all the spare men, right? It might look like a lack of intensity, but the reality is we just couldn't get near them because of the way we're set up. And we're playing this back five. Once we get that extra midfielder in there, all of a sudden we can get near them and the intensity ups, and all of a sudden the players feel that energy, and the crowd are getting up for it because they can see a few challenges flying in instead of just watching Man City and admiring what the football they're playing and all this kind of stuff. So I think... I don't think it's
true, but you've still got like very combative players in there, like Conor Gallagher and Yves Bissouma, and one of those centre backs is supposed to kind of jump into the midfield and help out, and none of that is happening. And everyone, it's not just the defence, but everyone just looks so off it. There's just nothing. Like you saw Xavi Simons, he looked intense in the first half. Why is he looking intense and no one else is? I don't get it.
I think we were basically so scared about them going forward. We are stuck in this back five. No one's got the kind of bravery to step out and go for it, and we're so stuck. And Man City are just we know with them on the ball, they got the confidence to just pop it around, don't they? So I think the setup was left us being outnumbered. Couldn't get near them, chasing shadows.
But it's not even just against Man City. We show this against poorer sides as well, like West Ham's and like Villa's and everyone. So I don't know, man. It's just so hard to kind of put your finger on what it is. But I think the difference in this game as opposed to the previous games. In other games against Villa, against West Ham, we showed like kind of 10, 15 minutes of real intensity and really being on top, and then it kind of reverted. In this game, I felt like even when we went to 2-2, we were still looking to go and get that winner.
We were, and then for the last 15 minutes, we nearly conceded, and we were under pressure. I think we did for a bit, but I think again it happened in this game. We were looking for the winner. Odegaard nearly scored. I'm not saying we kind of stopped attacking totally, but I think once City made a few changes, they brought on like Mamouche and whatever, brought on Reinders, they got a second wind, and they could have easily snatched a winner.
No, don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about the intent from Spurs was there. You obviously, that's always going to happen against a quality Man City side. They're always going to be able to create chances against you.
But I thought we dropped off. Like, I thought we dropped off in terms of, for most of that second half, up until like the goal, really, we were like on them and we were pressing really high and we were looking to win the ball high. But then as soon as they made some changes and after the equaliser, I thought again the game state changed, and all of a sudden all our chances were coming on the counter as opposed to actually us going at them. And we had a few moments on the counter. We were flying forward. Credit to the team.
But I mean, the changes after the goal happened in 88th and 94th minute. So there was still like good time in between.
When did Reinders come on?
He came on before the equaliser.
Okay, but I'm saying when Reinders. Okay, so he came on before the equaliser, but after the goal, I felt like we had a couple of moments. Odegaard nearly should have scored, or could have scored. But then we definitely.
For me, I mean, I haven't seen that chance again. But for me, that Odegaard thing, like he's got an open goal at the back post. Like, what's going on there?
And that one as well. He had a couple of moments because Xavi with a brilliant ball across the face, didn't he? He just couldn't quite get it. I think Guehi must have stopped him. Was a good block. So we had a couple. We did have a couple of moments, but I think for the last like 15 minutes, we were just resorting to springing him on a counter, and we weren't pulling them forward. And I think to be honest, those last 15, again, we could have conceded. They look more likely to score. And similar to other games where we're so reactive to what's happening on the pitch. And you got to be, I guess, from that point of view. But similar to, again, like the West Ham game, the Bournemouth game, we got back in the game and then dropped back and nearly lost it, and we lost it in the other games, but we didn't lose it in this game. We could have easily in those last 10, 15 minutes. Reinders had some chances, and they had one. If it wasn't for Pape Sarr defending with his arse, that we could have conceded in that moment as well. So it was that bit was like at the end of the game, I was kind of just a bit relieved to get the point because I thought we could have lost it near the end. But I thought in the second half, you have to give credit for about the first, 35 minutes, 30 minutes. We were very good, and we were on top of them, and deservedly got a level, and could have gotten the lead a bit after that.
We could have scored 4 goals in that second half. I think we were brilliant, and I think the kind of when you get it back to 2-2 after being 2-0 down to Man City, you got to expect a bit of a Man City reaction to get back on top. Look, this is a quality side we're talking about, as much as they didn't show it yesterday.
But my point is, I understand that, and that's fair enough, and you're absolutely right, but it's happened in so many games.
No, but what I'm saying is the difference is, like, in those games, we've only seen like 10 or 15 minutes where Spurs have been really good, or Spurs have been on top, and Spurs are showing those real intensity levels and going at the opposition. This, it was the majority of the second half. You just said it, 30, 35 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Which is the majority of the second half.
Okay. So, which is fine, but it's yes, but it's a very similar pattern. It's a very similar pattern to what.
But we were able to sustain it for longer.
A bit longer, yeah.
Well, a lot longer, because it's gone from 10, 15 minutes to 35 minutes in your
We probably
words.
did it for half an hour against Bournemouth as well, I would say. Against West Ham, probably did it for probably around half an hour as well.
Not really, because after the West Ham game, you said it was only 10, 15 minutes.
No, we were dominating for about half an hour, but we were only really creating for about 10, 15 minutes.
That's what I'm talking about. We were creating, is what I'm talking about. We created so many chances and could have got so many goals.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
So
we could have won the game. I think a draw was a fair result, though.
I think when you're judging into account the first half and the second half, like they were well on top in the first half and we were well on top in the second half.
But also in the second half, they had chances and we just didn't have any first half.
Yeah,
so
it's also true.
You've got to take that into account. So I think a draw is a fair result. I think they didn't deserve to win considering how they collapsed. we probably didn't deserve the win, given that we probably gave ourselves too much to do. We were probably better in the second half than they were in the first half, despite the fact that they had chances in the second half and we didn't. But my point being is, how many times this season where it's either we take the lead and then give it away, we drop back and we drop the intensity after scoring, that the pattern there seems to be something that, like, is Frank telling them, okay, as soon as you get the goal, you drop back and you defend it. And then from the flip side, if that doesn't work and we start poorly, we then get back in the game, and then as soon as we equalise, we drop off again. So it's like every time, like, we've got a chance to actually get in the lead or extend the lead, we're like dropping back and dropping the intensity every time. It's like with clockwork. It happens every time.
Yeah.
Like it's so frustrating with this team, and I'm sure, obviously, I don't know. Look, I don't know what Frank is telling them. I don't know if it's a philosophy thing. I don't know if it's like a mentality thing. I don't know if it's a tactical thing. But it's like clockwork in every game. When the game state gets to a certain point, we drop off. Mm-hmm. And it never allows us to drop off after 2-0. It's always after 1-0. And when we've got back level after losing a game, we always drop off as well. In those moments, before taking the lead, we drop off, and it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. In the Champions League, it's different, but in the Premier League,
well, in the Champions League, actually, we did drop off against Frankfurt, but then we kind of regained that control about 10-15 minutes later. You remember?
And actually, we did against Dortmund as well. Drop off.
You remember? We sat back. We sat back completely against Frankfurt, and then it only lasted about 10-15 minutes, and then we were back on top. And
so it must be instruction then.
Yeah, well, it must be, but I don't know. It's really hard to kind of analyse. I mean, I'm not more concerned about that. I'm more concerned about how we're managing these first halves at the moment, because we're losing games in the first half. We're leaving ourselves way too much to do. As much as our performances are great, or the performance yesterday was great in the second half, you just can't. We can't go on like this, conceding 1-2 goals every first half and trying to recover the situation. It's just nowhere near sustainable, and we're seeing the results. However, right now, 4 wins without a loss, kind of stemming the tide a little bit at the moment. So nobody expected us to get a point yesterday, and definitely nobody expected us.
4 wins?
4 unbeaten.
4 unbeaten.
No, don't get ahead of us.
You said 4 wins.
I said 4 unbeaten, I thought.
No, you said 4 wins.
Did I say 4 wins? Maybe it's just wishful thinking. But, 4 unbeaten, 2 wins and 2 draws.
Yeah.
So we got, definitely a big run now. The Man United game this weekend, we got a week break, so it'll be good recuperation for the players. But we just got players going down every day at this moment in time. It's just so frustrating. It's just like, I've never seen a club like it, man. With the injury crisis that we had last year, it seems to be even worse this year.
Yeah. It's gotten to a very bad stage now. Danso looks like he could be missing the rest of the season. Jed Spence, look, another month. So we now have no right backs for the next month in what is a very difficult month for us. We've got Van der Ven, and hopefully Van der Ven and Romero will be back for next game. But it's every game. Hopefully Solanke's not too bad. He said he should be fine, but. For you guys, I'll read in a minute. I don't know what we do about this situation. Obviously, we need help in the transfer market, but we have now just under 6 hours to get this sorted, and it doesn't seem like much is happening today. So
Danso is a real kick in the teeth, isn't it? Because it's just like Danso was performing really well these last couple of games, and we found this kind of back three that was really working, and now with Danso being out, we need massive help. But I guess it has been kind of alleviated a little bit with the emergence of Palhinha that can play in that position. And
obviously Dragushin is now available as well, so hopefully, as much as he was rusty, and look, let's be honest, he was a bit of a disaster in that first half, but the second half he upped his game.
He grew into it massively, and he handled Haaland really well, and we knew he could handle Haaland because we saw it last year at the Etihad when we won 4-0. He handled Haaland that day as well.
So he definitely upped his game and was much more impressive in the second half. And Palhinha stepped in. But let's hope. We got Romero and Van der Ven anyway. They're not long term. Hopefully he'll be back for next game. So it's not massive.
We hope they're not long term.
We hope not. But
we don't think Romero is. I think it's just an illness. But Van der Ven, I'm actually worried about that situation.
Yeah, let's see. He said he was touch and go for this game. and let's just hope he's back for next game. He obviously, we see the same Palhinha, he missed one game and then came back. So let's hope Van de Ven's all right.
But what are we going to do at fullback though? Because
I don't know.
Because Archie Gray looked like he was massively struggling at the end of the game. I don't know if they showed it on TV, but as soon as the final whistle went, basically 3 or 4 Spurs players just dropped. And, the energy levels that they put in that second half. And Archie Gray, as soon as the whistle went, the medical staff went rushing over to him. He came over to the south stand after and he was like hobbling over. I don't know what he was doing, why the medical team are letting him do that. But he didn't look right at all, Archie Gray. And it looked like he was struggling massively towards the end there. So if Archie Gray's out, we know Jed Spencer's out for the next 3 weeks minimum.
I think Gray looked all right, to be honest, in terms of he did some interviews after the game, I think.
I hope so.
Actually, well, no, that was actually after Frankfurt, wasn't it?
Gray, for me, he looked like he was hobbling after the game, and the medical team went rushing straight after.
Probably just cramp. I don't know. Look, I don't know. I didn't see anything, but I haven't heard anything about Gray.
Yeah.
Frank didn't say anything, so... But maybe there's something there. But I thought he did well in the second half, Gray.
He did very well,
In the first half, he struggled. I don't think wing-back suits him as much as actually full-back.
Well, that was the first time he's ever played wing-back.
Yeah. But I actually just don't think it suits what he offers. I think full-back makes a lot more sense for him because he can hang back a bit and keep kind of only go forward when it's appropriate. And kind of when you're a fullback, you need to be flying forward all the time, and there's a lot of pressure on you to attack. I feel like when you're a fullback, it's kind of like you can pick your moment, and I think he did that very well yesterday.
I love the way Gray works in the tight spaces, man. There's sometimes yesterday there was like 2 Man City players around him, and he gets the ball, and you're thinking, how's Gray going to get out of this one? And suddenly he just does. I love when he's in those little tight spaces.
I wouldn't mind seeing Pape at right back. I think that's all wing back.
Yeah.
Even. I think that's something he could do because I think he's got the energy to do it. And I think I remember against United in the final, he played kind of wing back role.
He played right wing.
Minutes. Kind of, but it was kind of like a wing back, even though it was right wing, wasn't he? He was basically defender on that day. So I think, and he obviously came on and did very well. I think that's a role that he has the attributes for.
Odebear?
I don't know if I trust him defensively.
Yeah.
But if he does it if he can train him like he did Lewis Potter and kind of get him to kind of half cheat, be like a winger, but a wing back, but basically like a winger, maybe he could do it.
Depends what kind of game, because if it's a game where we're heavly dominant on possession and we're just attacking all game, then it's not an issue. Like against
Diallo.
Like Diallo, but also against Dortmund, like Spence. Spence hardly did any defending that day. He was basically an attacker.
Yeah.
So and he was naturally a wing back that day.
Yeah. So look, but maybe we just abandon the wing back for now and just go forward back to a 4.
Yeah.
We looked better in a 4 anyway.
Against Man City we did, yeah. Against Man City we did.
So I think with the players available, I think a 4 makes more sense probably.
Yeah, you're probably right. We're back to Kuti. The thing is, right, where do you fit João Palhinha in then? Because I think João Palhinha has to play in the back 3 if he's playing in defence.
Yeah. I guess depends. If Romero and Van de Ven are fit, maybe you can.
I think with the players available, with João there, Mickey and Kuti, if they're back for the Man United game, then there's no reason why we can't play a back 3.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. The thing is, Xavi has looked good in a 3, but he also looked very good in a 4 yesterday as well. Well, it was kind of like a 4-2-2-2. So I guess we have to see who's fit for next game.
I think Xavi's best position is in the 3-4-3, left-sided number 10, just behind the striker. I think that's his best position.
Yeah, I think it helps him a lot. Well, I don't necessarily think it's his best position, but I think in Frank's setup.
Yeah, for us it's his best position.
For us it is. I think you'd easily play him in a 10 and a 4-2-3-1 and him being just as good.
Yeah.
But on how we play it, it's difficult to get the best out of him, I feel. Who are we playing next? United? Yeah, I think probably I'm trying to probably stick with a 3 at the back and get Palhinha right centre-back, maybe.
Yeah, I would do that.
Maybe obviously Dragushin's there, but I think Palhinha has earned his salt, I would say, with Romero and Van de Ven, or Gallagher and Sarr in midfield. But then who do you play wing back? Gray. Unless you go Gallagher, Basuma again.
It's going to have to be Gray at wing back.
Or I'm saying potentially Sarr there. But then
I think, I actually think Sarr could probably work better there than Archie.
Game, I thought, as well.
Sarr was fantastic when he came on, and his 2 performances now since coming back from the AFCON is really back on form, isn't he?
He is. He's looking sharp. Maybe with a bit of a point to prove, given how little he played there.
Yeah.
And maybe he's like, okay, I need to really knuckle down
and he was out the team before he even went there.
Yeah. And he's really come back with fresh energy. I think also it probably helps that we've been kind of on our feet a bit, and he's come back with his fresh legs, fresh energy. Also, kind of the character he is, probably a bit of fresh enthusiasm as well, and he's making a big difference.
Yeah, he really is. So, look, I think it was a decent day all round. I think the second half, just nobody expected it, did they? It was just like, wow, what was that? What have we just witnessed? And it was great, like the contrasting kind of receptions that the team and Thomas Frank got at half-time and at full-time. It was just mad to see. It really was. But, I saw the Sky commentary when the boos were going on at half-time, and it was just like, it painted such a bleak picture.
Yeah.
And then we come back and put in that kind of performance. But, look, we move on to Manchester United, and that is going to be probably a harder game than what it was this weekend against Manchester City, funnily enough. Man United are on a wave right now, aren't they?
Although Fulham could have easily taken something out of their game.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, like they've got players with confidence. And you know what? They've got players who probably the worst kind of players to play against in terms of attacking players with unbelievable quality, full of confidence, not afraid to try things, because we give you the space to try, don't we? Like, you want to shot from the edge of the box? Don't worry, we'll give you that space to do it. So you got Cunha there, and Mbeumo and Bruno. They're going to be trying things because they're confident, aren't they? And so that's kind of perfect for them. And the worst.
We just need to shut down Bruno. I know it's harder said than done, but that has got to be the game plan because everything goes through him. Yeah. Everything. So look, we'll get into it all a bit later on in the week. But we got Manchester United away. Then we've got Newcastle at home midweek, and then Arsenal to top off the end of the week. So 3 mad games in the space of like 7 days or 8 days.
Yeah,
so.
In terms of what you were saying about Frank, obviously 4 unbeaten. So I think there are definitely positives to take out of the last 4 games, 100%. The 2 Champions League games were great. Even in the Premier League, there are definitely positives, especially in the City game. Burnley, despite the result, it was definitely a better performance than what we've seen, but it is Burnley. I mean, you would expect that. So I think you've got to say, given the pressure that was on him post-West Ham, there's definitely been an uptick, you'd have to say, in terms of definitely, even though it's only mostly second halves, definitely the attacking football, we're creating more chances.
It's better to play for 45 than for 0, isn't
100%.
it?
That's also the difficult one, isn't it? It's like, it's an improvement, but it's an improvement on, like, he set the bar in terms of how low it could be, in terms of level of performance. So when it's an improvement on that level, that low bar, right now it's better than that. Is it great? I wouldn't say it's great, but it's better. So
I'd say some elements are great, but the whole outlook of it is not great because we're leaving ourselves too much to do in games. That's the reality. But I think there is slow improvements throughout the course of the season, and if it can keep improving like this, you never know.
There's improvements over the course of the season? I mean, are we improving on how we were playing right at the beginning of the season?
Well, I mean, when you're talking about the initial burst of the PSG and the Man City game, I'm talking about like a bit after that, I felt like that maybe have just been a bit of a new manager bounce the first couple of games, but it got bad pretty quickly, didn't it? Like really quickly.
Well, I think we were playing okay-ish / the football was awful, but we were getting good results and being defensively solid while winning with set pieces, which I didn't like watching, but it was effective up until like October time. It kind of all changed after that Everton game, didn't it? And then Everton won the game 3-0.
It's true.
And then all of a sudden we went on a massive downward spiral where everything was just catching up with us. Now it's a weird one where we're being a bit more attacking. Well, we're creating more chances, I should say, but we're still a bit all over the place defensively. So it's a difficult one in terms of, are we improving as a team? Because we can't seem to get the balance right at the moment. We're either all over the place defensively, or we can't seem to attack for toffee, and we can't seem to get any sort of balance going in this team. But definitely second half, there was good balance in that. We kept them quiet for most of it, and we were creating loads of chances. But again, we were 2-0 down. And also, you got to also factor in the fact that Man City have a tendency to take the lead and drop off massively. They've done that in the last few games as well. So that's also the team we were facing yesterday. So there's been improvements lately from the season low of like the Forests and those kind of awful games and West Ham. But also, I guess we've got to see, are these basically improvements real improvements, or is it just throwing caution to the wind when we're losing? I guess are we going to come out flying against Newcastle or United, or is it going to be another game where we're just all over the place, and once we're losing 2-0 we go and throw caution to the wind and get back in the game? Basically I want to see if these are real sustainable improvements and changes, or is it, because there are two kind of competing narratives. You could say, yeah, look, there are improvements that we performed in the second half. We actually attacked well, defended well, but then the first half was just absolute horrific. So what is the real Tottenham? What's the real Thomas Frank's Tottenham? Is it that second half we saw, or is it the first half? It's hard to say.
Yeah, I think obviously time will tell over the next couple of weeks, but all I can say is that it's still not where we want to be. It's still not exactly the team that we want to see, and we need to see us not giving ourselves too much to do in second half. That's the reality. So I think there have been steps forward over the last couple of weeks, but it's not enough for me anyway to say that Thomas Frank's the answer and Thomas Frank should stay here beyond this current season. So he's got a lot still to prove.
I guess what we can maybe put to bed after that, well, I don't know if we can, but I would say after that game is fears of a relegation battle or getting dragged into it, especially West Ham losing, us picking up a point in a dire situation. That probably puts to bed maybe those kind of fears potentially.
Well, you say that, but West Ham got Burnley this weekend and we got Manchester United away. So if they gain 3 points on us, that's back down to 6.
That's back down to 6, but it's still 6. But I'm saying we got a point in that situation and with a decent performance in the second half. So that maybe gives you hope that along the way we are going to pick up some points here and there. We're not just going to keep losing.
Yeah.
Maybe we will. But I'm just saying, maybe the performance a bit alleviates that. Was that performance good enough where we want to be? No. Was it good enough to say we're not going to be in a relegation battle? Yeah, probably.
Well, the reality is West Ham, they were 2-0 up against Chelsea. They threw it away, but they showed some really good signs in that game.
True.
They've won their last 2 games prior to that. So are they showing signs that they could save themselves in this relegation battle?
Absolutely.
So if they're showing those signs and we're still not getting the wins and we're still not getting consistent results, and there's no reason why we can't get drawn back into it.
I think, yeah, look, there's still a chance.
Look, when if it goes to 6 points next weekend, that is not a comfortable situation.
No.
With Newcastle and Arsenal, our next 2 games. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I can't hand on heart say that the relegation fears have gone away. Yes, we've widened the gap, but only by 1 point. Mm-hmm. But we've got such hard games coming up, and if that goes to 6 points next weekend, then that brings up all those conversations again.
True. But
I don't think we're going to get relegated. But I don't think.
My point is, after being 2-0 down, and the worry is we get battered, and we just have a string of losses after this very difficult month coming up. And the fact that we ended up getting the point probably gives you a bit of hope that maybe this run, maybe the next 3-4 games we can pick up something, and maybe going forward
for sure
we can pick something up.
For sure. The reality is we have to beat Arsenal. I don't forget relegation and all this. We have done Arsenal a massive favour yesterday. Yeah? We have done Arsenal a massive favour. We said before the game, a draw suits nobody. Don't help us. It don't help Man City. All it does is help Arsenal. So my sole focus is on that Arsenal game now. We have to beat them. We have to.
Like Ange, everything leading up to that game.
Exactly.
In service of that
exactly.
game.
We have to beat Arsenal.
So you're saying keep Van de Ven on ice still?
Keep him on ice, man. Keep him on ice. We have to beat Arsenal. We have to give Van de Ven 45 minutes. You know what I mean? Oh man, that game is massive.
apparently the talks are getting closer with Adingra. But there is a bit of spanner in the works because apparently Monaco are about to sell this guy to one of their attackers to Al Ittihad.
Oh,
He's a striker.
mm.
For 33 million, they're going to sell him to Al Ittihad. So maybe
Great.
he's that replacement.
It was nice thinking about it while it lasted. All right. Well, anyway, let's get into